Survivor's ready.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
The queen stays queen.
You said Russell feathers.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to talk calamity. We have ripe bananas all the time.
Dude, my prize isn't even $1 million. My prize was that I fell in love in this game. Love at first sight. Her name is Candace.
You officially go down as the dumbest survivor ever.
Welcome to Not Game, Not Personal. Hey, we are a Survivor podcast here to talk about all things Survivor, more specifically the events of this week's episode. Episode 3, season 48. I'm Nathan. This is Tony. How you doing, Tony? How's the season feeling so far?
Hey, I mean, some interesting stuff's happening, but we're still only looking at one tribe, and so I'm a little annoyed by that. I'm not gonna lie to you, but hey, just the season starts slow and turn into great ones, so I'm still very optimistic.
Yeah, I mean,
What about you?
this is the least surprising thing in the world. Like, this was
Yeah.
the easiest call we could have made last week when they voted out Kevin. Was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Where it was like, yep, okay, you're going to lose. And I think you just had to be ready to lose for the rest of the thing. And that's probably going to continue to be the case after what happened tonight. Last night,
Well,
whenever
tribe
you watched
swap
it.
was teased. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I darted out of the
Sorry if you didn't
episode.
want to see that.
No, I just I remember not watching something. What happened? I think like my remote, like I picked up the remote and then I clicked out of the episode, and then when I went to click back in, it started from the beginning. I was like, well, I'm not gonna fast forward to like get to
It's not that worth it.
just for the next time, you know. But I guess it was, so
Yeah.
I should have.
Yeah, that's
Oops.
embarrassing for you, actually.
Well, that's exciting. This is the first time hearing of this, so I can't wait.
Yes,
for it.
absolutely, absolutely. It would be so boring if we went into next week's challenge and it was just like, yep, same 3 tribes,
Yeah.
3 people. Like, no, thank you, no interest.
That's actually. So, are we still prepared to draft players tonight? Is that
Yeah,
after
Yeah.
episode 3? Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me that because that might change how I view some people. Only with like certain storylines that I think have been teased of like, oh, when they go to tribal council, it's probably going to be this divide, right? Like we've had 3 weeks now of like build up, but that could be a lot different now because not every
Mhm.
party will be involved. So I don't know. I don't know what that means yet, but that's that's my take on the situation. All
Dynamite.
right. Well, should we just start talking about the big event from this week?
Yeah, I feel like we should start there.
The tribal council. You know, for as much as Survivor feels repetitive at times, you know, we've seen, oh gosh, hundreds of tribal councils. Could it be thousands? It might be thousands. No, I don't think it's
I
1,000.
guess no.
There's what, like 13
16
episodes?
times 48 doesn't feel like it'd be 1,000. It'd be
No.
800-ish.
Okay.
Close,
so
actually.
By the time we get to season 50, maybe a little closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, it's rare when a situation at tribal, a vote count, a however you want to call it, like, is new. And this is the first time for several things, I think, at this tribal council. And I don't even know how to bring it down. I think I've only seen online questions and debates on like the rules and like what even happened and comparing it to like other seasons where something kind of similar happened. But like really this only could happen in this new era, right? Where there's what did
Lose a vote.
lose a vote, but what did she have? That Mary, she why am
She
I
had
blanking?
the shot in the dark.
Shot
but
in the dark. I couldn't think of the
big
name.
issue, to me, the big issue more than anything was that somebody had lost their vote that made this overcomplicated.
Yes. So what had happened was Mary used her shot in the dark and it was successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other
Third
3
time, right?
people, yes, 3rd time in the new era. Only 2nd time where it mattered, I believe. I believe one of those times
Yeah.
like it was irrelevant.
Yeah,
but
it was. Oh, what's her name?
I don't
I see her
remember.
face.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
uh,
Julia
the
feels right, but also wrong.
the other three people all voted for Mary, so they had to revote slash not revote because I think this is where the technicality was that part wasn't a revote, okay? Because
That was just
then
that was a new initial vote, basically.
yes, that is the only way that what happened aligns with the rules. Is
Yeah.
assuming that is the case, because Justin did not have a vote, which they didn't learn at the time because they only read two votes for Mary, and then it's like, that's it. Well, actually, no. I mean, they did know it was only two votes, but
Yeah.
it wasn't until the next vote that Jeff revealed because there were only two votes, one for Justin and one for
Say.
Say. Why do I? Jeez.
I tried to beat you to it. I felt like you were gonna do it wrong. You like went to your computer like, what? How do you say it again?
I'm like scrolling. I'm like, say. Yeah, and so then they had to revote again, which was essentially just to see if Cedric would change his vote, and he didn't.
Well, this was the interesting one because Say was still able to vote because that's where he revealed that Justin didn't have one, right?
Yes, after the first tie between her and Justin.
Which that makes sense to me. That makes sense to you, right?
Yes, that does make sense. Why she would? Well, yes,
That's
I
why
think
they've never
so.
voted is because they'd have to vote for the other person, but in this situation, it didn't like he didn't have a vote, so it wouldn't matter. Like they never vote because it would just cancel, and they just like we don't want to worry about it.
Yes, I believe that is correct because in previous seasons, the two people that were within the tie would not vote again. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so in this tie, in the revote, Cedric keeps his vote the same, which leads to uh, a decision that is only made by Cedric, where he can either uh wait, okay, I'm sorry, I'm losing it
He
now.
just gets to pick.
He
He
gets
just
to
gets to
pick
pick
because
because
then
he's the
both
sole
of
vote to
them,
evict.
right? Yes, I was trying to think how this is related to Rocks at all, but it really isn't at all. Like that was never going to be an option, right?
Rocks was never going to be a thing. If Cedric didn't come to a decision, he was going to get voted out. That's essentially what it was.
Yes, so he could decide between the three of them who goes.
It was probably similar to the time that it comes down to just Keith's like what Keith is going to do. And it's in second chances, and Keith almost was like, "Oh, let Kimmy have it," and they're like, "No, don't do that."
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "All right, fine, I'll stay."
Yeah.
Um, just I don't know if there was a better way to do it, but it felt unsatisfying. It did. It felt unsatisfying that she got to be a part of the vote, but then that vote ultimately wouldn't actually matter because Cedric was just going to pick anyways.
Yes. I don't know how else you do it though. And I think
That's
what
the
it comes
thing.
down
I've thought
to,
about it all day.
right. I think what it comes down to is like the lost vote from Justin. Somehow, I mean, like he did go home, spoiler, so like it's not like it was an advantage, but it could have been. Like that
Yeah,
lost vote could have, I mean, not been an advantage, but like it wouldn't have been a disadvantage compared to Say. Because at the end of the day, even though Say had a vote, she was still a 50-50 shot with the guy who didn't have a vote. So it's weird because like I understand wanting to give her a little more say than Justin,
nice.
but at the same time, you know what I mean? Because like in a revote, then you lose your vote. And Justin already lost
Yeah,
his. So it's like by having it be a tie, you're just weakening her and he stays at the same level. So I think that's where it's like, what do you do? But I don't know. I think this is just the kind of mess that they created, and I don't think they did anything incorrect. Like to me, all of these rules added up.
yeah. This is how it had to go, and I'm sure they had maybe not this exact scenario, but I'm sure they had big discussions around like, all right, how messy can this get with this losing votes and everything, and we need to prepare for those moments because we have to know what we're gonna do because this
Mm-hmm.
is game for $1 million and like legally it has to be like fair and well done and like they can't just give it to somebody. So it felt unsatisfying in a way, but ultimately, like, that was the reality. I did see on Reddit somewhere that somebody talked to Cedric, and he was like that deliberation of him deciding what to do. It said it went on for 2 hours. That might be a bit extreme. It wouldn't surprise me if they were sitting there for a long time for him to make that decision.
That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Rules aside, like, did he just make like a horrible decision?
Yeah, he didn't make a good one.
Here's
I would have gone the other direction for sure.
yes, there's that where I don't know. I don't know what the producers are building her up to be. Like, which is kind of why I figured she would stay, because I was like, she is such a main character in this season. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
cannot go in a. Although, like, I guess maybe going out in a tribe like this would, I don't know, qualify for or justify her at it. But I'm going off mostly the fact that Cedric voted for every single person in this tribal.
Yep. We were always going to get to that fact. He voted for everybody on his tribe in this tribal.
Except if he would have kept Justin, that would have been the one person he didn't vote for, and he's good. So now he kept two people that he literally just wrote their name down. He wrote
One
down
of them, he did it
each.
twice.
Yes, exactly. And then, I mean, last minute decided like, okay, you can stay. And what's the condition? You can stay if the two of you work together. On this 3-person tribe, I want the two of you to link up. What is he doing?
Ugh. I don't. It was a bad look for Cedric. It was a very bad look for Cedric overall. It put himself in a tough position. The relationship that he has with Say, that he feels so close to her, though, that
Yeah.
after all of that, he was like, "Oh, Say, the most vindictive person I've ever seen in my life. She's gonna be okay with me voting for her twice, and we're gonna be able to fix this." Like, it just blows my mind that was like even a thought that there was potential for that. But that's what he believed, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not tracking, and I have to assume it's mostly just personal at this point of like feeling some sort of connection to her or like feeling bad about voting her out, like she pulled out some
Mm-hmm.
tears, but like, and I mean, Justin certainly did not put up a fight. So like there is that.
He
At
didn't in
least
the edit. I'm curious if he gave a little bit more. If it was a 2 hour discussion, he probably gave a little bit more. But
yeah, no, I mean like his fight was like, it's all right. Come eat some pizza at my shop, Like
yeah, I'll still make you pizza. It's like, no, you want to like fight a little bit more, my guy.
you want to threaten the pizza. Hold the pizza over his head a little bit. Like that's not, it's
Mm-hmm.
$1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. This tribe is just a mess, and it's going to continue to be a mess. So the fact that they're swapping, I think, does change a lot. But
Yeah.
as if they would not like if they don't swap, I mean, I don't know. Like I don't know who would be next. Like
I genuinely don't, because like, who's Say gonna work with?
I
Probably
I don't.
Cedric, because she has no another choice.
Yeah, but Cedric wants Mary to work with Say. Like I don't think the issue was like you want someone on the bottom. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
just good gameplay. Like the issue wasn't them not working well in challenges together. I mean, let's be honest, no one on your tribe is good at challenges. That I don't think that's
Yeah.
solely because of Mary and Say beefing. I don't. I think that's a list of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Probably voting Kevin out, didn't help, but I don't know.
What? No, that was great.
I mean, I know the dude can't dive, but I would assume he'd be a little better at this challenge than whatever they were doing.
Yeah. So, kind of a bigger question. Do you, like, beyond the tribe a little bit? They were forced on this journey. There was no option. They were forced to do a game that was purely chance, with the opportunity to gain a vote or lose a vote. So, but just by going, that was them opting in, which I think is one of the first times that they've done it that way, where you have to play. Maybe I'm wrong though. What are your
Uh,
thoughts on that? where they
I
have to play and it's a game of chance, maybe.
I think the game of chance is the part that I think is the most uh because I feel like there have been situations where they have to play. Am I
Mm-hmm.
crazy in that? I feel like this isn't
No,
the
you could
first
be right.
time. I feel like more often than not, even. I don't know. Like to me, that's not uncommon. But yeah, I think the chance is a little ridiculous, and it almost like takes away the point completely. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like part of the risk versus reward is like I guess if you're forced into it, that also takes away the point of it. But it is like, okay, how good do you think you can be at this thing? You know, and if you
Mm-hmm.
don't think you're good, then there you go. But like, if it is just chance, then and it's also just like not fun to watch. You know, like as a
Yeah.
viewer, like that is the least interesting thing you could possibly do. Like at least make it a puzzle, at least make it something physical, at least make it a
Mm-hmm.
mental game that they're trying to like, pull one over on the other person. But I don't know. Like it truly was just like the most boring thing, and it led to just like a bad outcome for Justin. Who
Yeah.
else? Bianca lost her vote as well.
Yep.
I don't remember who else was on the thing. Camilla.
Was it?
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Yep. 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 You're right.
What happened with her? Did she win? I think
She
she
got
won,
it.
right? Okay,
Yeah, she had an extra vote
that's
and
right.
immediately told her whole tribe. Okay, but yeah, back to the green tribe before we start talking about another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks that, and that's the game we've talked about before. Survivors also like there's luck involved, and so like that's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel was lucky last season that she was alone on a tribe, so she got an advantage and could survive from Soul, I think. So like luck happens, but
Yeah.
it's just tough to see him not have a choice and then yeah, kind of get screwed into that.
Yeah. No, I
I think it
agree.
would, and then lastly, I think it would be unfair to leave without talking about Mary a little bit because I think people are really big fans of her online. At least some people I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to get your thoughts on Mary.
I like her. Do you not? Is that the vibe I'm
No,
getting?
no,
Sounds like you don't like her.
she's okay. Maybe I don't like her. It's not that I don't. She's fine. It's neutral. It's not a I don't like her. It's not a dislike her.
Uh huh.
It's a neutral.
Is this the woman thing again, or like?
No,
Oh, okay. Just-
though it's not looking great for me in that category. I suppose.
I want to
I like
find
Ava.
one. Give me one male you dislike, and then we'll call it good. Okay.
One
Can't
male
do
I
it, huh?
dislike.
Yeah. Balance it out. Who's one male on this season you don't like?
Kevin. I didn't like Kevin.
Fine. All right, you're clear. No, I like Mary. I I think part of it is so like I feel like we always have this bottom of the tribe person. And I will say like unfortunately I think she does fit the stereotype. It's usually like a female. It's usually someone that's weaker. It's oftentimes in the new era like an Asian. I hate to say that, but like it is kind of
There is like an older female Asian woman who's like pretty weak that
uh-huh.
goes early. That's happened at least twice in the new era. Definitely.
Right. And so I think she fits these things, but in my opinion, I think she's very funny and I think has so much more personality than we've seen with other people. Not saying they didn't have
Hmm.
personality, but like it was just clear like you're going to be the next one. And I think especially this episode, and again, I'm not saying she's like my favorite, but like I get the appeal because like I thought it was hilarious how she just played it so cool to the point that uh Say actually thought she had something. And like it worked. Like that game worked with her. And I just thought it was so funny. Like I don't know, like there's something about her not just playing this sad like, oh, I'm on the bottom, but just like having fun with it, And I think especially going against a personality like Say, which is pretty polarizing. Like she's a
Hmm.
fun person to kind of like help root against Say, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. And yeah, it is like fun. They're So, because like I think like her running away is fun, and her like acting super confident is fun. I can't tell if she's like a good game player or not, but she definitely is like causing Say specifically to have some paranoia. And I don't know if that's just because Say leans towards being paranoid or not. Their whole like, oh, but we love each other and all of this stuff. The entire tribal council was, I don't know, it felt very forced and weird to me. Like they're saying that they love each other because they feel like they're supposed to feel that way and say that. I don't know. It just that whole dynamic was very interesting to me. But I mean, I'm in on Mary. I love women.
You don't have to love them, you know? It's okay.
Well, if I don't, you accuse me of hating women.
I just find it funny to point out. 'Cause, um, yeah, no, I mean, like I said, she's not my favorite, but I think if I have to see someone in her position, I'd want it to be this.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way I can say that
Yeah,
without
definitely. And
uh
like maybe she turns around and has an awesome game, and that'd be a super cool story.
mhm.
I don't know if I see it, but I'm open to it.
Yeah, I think I've had this shift, especially in the new era, where I feel like there hasn't been a ton of like amazing gameplay, you know? I think like I can probably
Mm-hmm.
count on maybe one hand like of just oh, this person was such a good game player. And so I think I've almost resulted to I just want entertaining TV, which is kind of always how I felt, but like I think especially that's why I fell in love so much with like 46, right? Just like the messiest of the messy, like just give me
Yeah.
it, you know? And so I think like the Mary Say dynamics is one that it's like, is it good gameplay? Absolutely not. It is a disaster. There's very little for us to talk about when it comes to like what's Mary's strategy. But seeing the two of them interact is at least something a new form of like I don't know, survivor entertainment that I haven't seen before. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's trying to be portrayed like like Genevieve versus Rachel at the end of last season, but that rivalry felt more earned, whereas these two just haven't liked each other for the first like 6 days of the season, and I think that might be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get to episode 10 and they're still in it going at each other. I feel like that would be
Yeah, and maybe I'll be more in at that point.
that would be certainly earned, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah,
Should we talk about another tribe?
yeah. Let's do it.
Let's go to Orange.
The
The
tough part
tribe
is the
I
dynamics
still
don't
have the
matter all that much.
No, I think there are like I don't think what they're showing us is going to be irrelevant though. You know, I think there are
Yeah.
going to be certain things because I think they are clearly trying to like certain people are getting more camera time. There are
Mm-hmm.
certainly like personal relationships that are being built that will overlap. But yes, I think like talking about them as a tribe, it's pointless to be like, here's the 4-2 split or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
Uh,
like like, for example, I'd put money on Ava and Star being on the same tribe, and that being a battle that happens, like them trying to go at each other still.
yeah, perhaps. I mean, that one's complicated because it feels like everyone's involved in
Yeah.
that. Because like in my mind, like Thomas seems like we left that tribe with Thomas wanting to gun for her. So
Mm-hmm.
does that happen now? Because
Yeah.
I'm led to believe they're going to be in the same tribe, and if they're not, then I'm assuming they're both going to last till the merge, so we can see that play out.
This is gonna be very interesting, I think, or maybe it'll be super boring. That's on the table too. We have two whole tribes here that have not proven anything to each other,
Yeah.
have not solidified anything truly.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do these tribal lines for those two groups even matter? And then, in extension, I don't see anybody from the other tribe working together. So, is it just open season, and these new tribes will be like the first tribes?
I well, I don't think it's going to be quite open season. I think it just depends on Like, I think you have to look at who's on the bottom now, because let's say
Mhm.
Star is with, like, Joe and Ava, and then a mixture of other people. She's gone, right?
Mhm.
Easy. Let's say Ava is with Thomas and Bianca and group of, you know what I mean? So, like, there are,
Yeah.
I think the other tribes have decided a pecking order, like, in, like, mentally, and for some of them, they share that, right? So, like, I think Thomas and Bianca are probably gonna be trying to go for the same person. I think Joe and Ava are probably going to go. So it just depends on if you have enough people. Whereas, like, if this was the beginning of the season, you don't have any built in relationships, So I think it's going to be more interesting um, if they think that it's important for them to, like, cut the fat now, or do they try to keep their tribe safe, right? Like,
Mhm.
hey, I was gunning for you, but now that there's, like, new people on our tribe, let's go for them. Like, that could be the case too. So I think it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see which direction between those two options they go.
Yeah. Absolutely, because those relationships and those frustrations are still there. So those will come into play, but it's just so dependent on the swap. I think yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it breaks open the game. Once again, could be super boring. That's definitely on the table.
It really could be.
You want to talk about Lagi or Siva more?
Let's get Siva out of the way, because I feel like that's another one I just don't have much to say on.
Yeah, really, the biggest thing we had, didn't Kyle and Mitch go out and they were talking about being pals in the boat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
David had like a sad moment.
yeah.
Not to diminish that, but
I
that happened.
no, I.
Christy and Charity, I don't remember.
Well, I think Charity, I think she tweeted out, like, where am I in the edit? So I don't know. I think she's having fun getting the purple edit.
Same question.
Yeah.
Somebody said that Mitch was on the like first to go though. Who was that? Mitch and maybe Chrissy were on, or who was it?
Charity. Well, Mitch and Charity, because I think we saw that
Mitch and
last
Charity are the two that are
last
first to
week
go.
as well. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the four-person, and we knew that because episode 1, I think the other four kind of grouped up, and it was just like, hey, four of us here, let's
Yeah.
do it. And it was just like random and kind of just like whoever was in the area. So we have
Mm-hmm.
seen that. But I think the significance of, like, Mitch and Kyle this episode was Kyle said, like, hey, Mitch hasn't talked game to me, so this was huge that he actually came to me, to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I don't really know. I think, like, Kyle and Camilla have had multiple like, scenes together where I think we've like if there's any duo on this tribe, I would say they're the strongest, probably followed by Mitch and Charity, and then it feels like David and Chrissy are just kind of like within that four with Kyle and Camilla. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like, there hasn't been anything that leads me to believe, like I could really see it going a lot of different directions.
Yeah. I saw a Survivor alum. I don't remember exactly who it was. But I think they were New Era, and they were like, "Is anybody in a better spot than Camilla, being in a power alliance in a winning tribe, with like not a lot of like suspicion or like anything going towards her?" And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting to like pinpoint her as like that power position." But
Mhm.
I definitely see it.
Yeah, I do too, and I also think it almost lines up too with how these, we don't talk about it, but, like, these new winter edits have been. I
Hmm.
think, like, previously we might want to look at someone like, I don't know, Kyle maybe, or even like Mitch, just for having such a prominent story that, like he always feels like a main part of whatever's going on in the tribe. But I do think, like, Camilla is someone that we're not seeing a ton of, but when we do see her, it is all just like setting herself up really well. And
Hmm.
I like, yeah, like, who would turn on her at least within the first, like, 2 3 votes? I don't know, probably no one.
Yeah, her whole tribe knows about her extra vote, so that'll be interesting going into a swap.
Yeah, and she helped Kyle with the immunity idol, which I forget if
Hmm.
anyone else knows about that. It might just be the two of them, or maybe his alliance knows. I don't remember.
I think
She
his
was
alliance knows.
she was the one that solved it for him. I remember they like
Yeah.
sit next to each other, but yeah. So yeah, it's a good call. Look
That
out for
tribe
her.
alone has 3 advantages. Loggy just has the one.
No,
She still hasn't solved that clue for the idol. Golly.
no, because they can't decide if they want to help her or not.
Wait.
She's just running on the woods for 6 days, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, do we keep her? Do we cut her?" I did the whole David situation was like both tragic and also like a little funny, and mostly like his interaction with Kyle at first was just one of the most awkward exchanging of like personal stories I've ever seen. Where he's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm living in a trailer on my dad's property. He's like, that's awesome. No, it's
Cool.
not. It's not. It's not awesome. Why? Why is it? It's just, I don't know. I just thought that was very funny.
People's
And
initial instinct is always to be like, "Awesome, dude," even if they don't think it. But he was like, "No, that wasn't the message you're supposed to get. It
right.
stinks."
Well, I think it was just like funny because I think David's reaction being like even stronger. Like, how dare you think this is
Hmm.
this is a good thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure it's fine, but it was just like a very, like one of the funniest ways that two people could have responded back and forth to each other. But yeah, David wants to win $1 million to buy a house so his wife can be a stay-at-home mom. Not wife, girlfriend.
That's fair. Yeah. It was like, oh, this is kind of, but like that's a real conversation that you need to have. Like if you want to give your wife that and you're not able to. I don't know. Survivors should be your end all be all option, but
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to
still,
be too mean about it, but like $1 million, like that, after taxes, like they'll buy you a house, but I think he's also gonna need another plan, right, to like support a
yeah,
family that's not gonna last
yeah,
maybe 2 years after you buy
it'll
the
help.
house. He'll give him a buffer so that he can get a paying job by the time he's 40.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel for the guy, but yeah, Survivor. Let's dream practically as well. Uh, all right, purple. That's where the good
Purple.
stuff is happening. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
this is, I think, maybe not the most interesting because, I mean, the dumpster fire that is Vula is there still. But yeah, this episode, I think that just the big message was, oh, we're all against Ava now, and then obviously Bianca going and losing her vote.
yeah, yeah. This is. There's just so many dynamics, and I think what's interesting is it does feel like everyone is playing the game more so than the other tribes, and I can't really tell who's playing it better right now.
Yeah.
Because like last week or even 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, "Oh man, Joe and Ava, great position, right?" And now I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh wait, is Bianca back in?" Because like to me, Thomas feels like he's kind of like running a little something, and of
Oh
course,
yeah.
like we don't know because we haven't seen them have to like actually commit to anything. Um, like the only person I'd say is like maybe like Star, but like she's at least like looking for something and might have found a way to like keep herself at least for one vote. I don't know. Like there's just so much going on, and I think it's due to like everyone just playing the game.
Definitely. Yeah, because you had Ava, and she was trying to see what was going on with Star, so she tossed out the puzzle makers, and and then Star immediately told them. Yeah, there's a lot going on and a lot of discussions happening. I don't think we saw it from Shaheen at all this episode that I can
Uh,
remember.
no, we did
We
when
did.
oh gosh, yeah, because I think he clocked Joe and Ava's relationship. Well, him and
Oh, did
Thomas,
he?
because like
He was one of them. Okay.
when Ava gave Joe a bracelet, which Thomas is like, "This is
Oh
stupid."
yeah.
What are you doing? And then Shaheem kind of like
Yeah.
a confessional as well, kind of talking about that. So like they are both very aware of her relationship with Joe, which I don't think we fully realized. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
giving him that in front of the group was an interesting choice.
yeah, no, and I think it just like everything comes back to get you. You know what I mean? Like even though
Hmm.
even if that wasn't like let's say they don't have this two-person alliance going on, and it is just a genuine gift. Like, hey, thank you for making this bonfire. Here you go. Like, you can't do anything like that in Survivor because people are gonna
Mm-hmm.
look at it, and it's crazy because like again last week, I mean, episode 1, Ava was my shot in the dark of like, oh, I think she'll win, right? Just kind of spinning the wheel, seeing where it lands. But now I'm like, is she going to be the first one from this tribe to go? That is very possible at this point.
Who was my shot in the dark? Oh,
Uh,
Shaheen, probably.
Shaheen, yeah. I mean,
I got scared it was Kevin
who
for a
knows?
second.
No, I think I said that last week because I thought it might have been, and then you corrected me. It was Shaheem.
That makes sense.
It's something you
Yeah, I
would do.
really wish we could have seen this tribe go to tribal and see what they were made of, what direction they were gonna go.
Yes, I agree. What more can you say?
I'm mad about it.
I mean, that being said, I am glad they're all still here, I suppose.
Yeah,
Like,
that's very true. That's very true.
I don't know. Like, who would I want to go? Star, I guess. Only because she's contributing the least.
I probably want Bianca out of there.
Yeah,
You
but
only
like,
need one puzzle maker.
it's true.
And then
I
when the argument was like, well, let's get rid of Shaheen. We only need one big guy. And it's like actually having multiple big guys is more valuable than multiple puzzle makers, probably.
yes, no, 100%. And I do love the way that like they have just clocked the survivor archetypes. Like you're either strong or you're a puzzle guy. Like it's one of the two,
Yep.
So it's like, which one are
Only
you? Oh,
options.
looks like there's 3 here and 3 here. Okay. What do we? Although this one has like 4, I think, right? Because like Thomas and Bianca would be the puzzlers, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I'm just like, man, what a bummer to be like either big and not like athletic for challenges, but also like, what if you're not big and you just suck at puzzles? Like, that is
Yeah.
there is no assumption that just because you're not athletic means your brain operates that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's such a funny thing that like Survivor has almost like, I don't know, like got themselves stuck in because that's how players are just viewing it now.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
should we get into our draft? I feel like that's all I have.
yeah, let's do it. Are we doing 4 players again?
Yep.
Okay. How do we decide who goes first? I forget what we usually do.
Well, usually I do my lottery ball machine,
Great. Bust that
but my
out.
roommate's sleeping right next door, so we can't do that.
I hate when the roommate's sleeping and you can't use your lottery ball machine.
Should we get a wheel?
Um, I'll have Google flip a coin.
Okay.
All right, heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
Hey Google, flip a coin. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it.
It landed on tails.
It's tails.
I'll defer. Wait, are we snaking?
What do we do? I can't, why do I never
I feel
remember?
like we usually snake. I feel like we usually snake.
Do we snake the whole time?
I think so.
So the first person picks, and then the second person will pick twice, and then the next person will pick twice. So then after that, it's everyone picks twice, or is it only snaking the second
So
person?
you would pick one,
Uh-huh.
or say you go first. You pick one. I pick
Yeah.
two. Pick two. Pick two, and then you pick one.
Okay. Great. So are you deferring
And I
then?
defer to you picking first.
I don't want to pick first. This is stupid. I don't want to go with Ava, so I'm gonna be a hypocrite and
Go Ava.
yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go Thomas. I don't know if that's a good decision.
He was one of my top picks.
I mean, again, I think I've learned we're not gonna pick a winner here. That's just a
Yeah.
fact. So I'm just picking who's gonna go far, and Thomas is gonna go pretty far, I think.
Give me Camilla and Shaheen.
Yeah, Camilla would have been my next one, for sure. Gosh, I am like looking at this list and I'm like not loving what I'm seeing. Oh, shoot. There's like part of me that's really tempted to go with Say. I do have 2 picks here, but I don't think I should. I will go with. Okay. I don't like this. I'm gonna go with Say. And I'm gonna go with Kyle. Don't love that. Don't love that.
I don't either.
Don't love it.
I don't mind it, but if I were you, I wouldn't love it. I'm gonna go. Why don't you give me Joe
Uh-huh.
and
I don't know how I feel about Joe.
between 2 players,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell you who they are because that's my last pick, anyways. Cedric and Mitch.
Neither of the 2 that I would pick right now. So
That's fair.
that's fine by me.
Why don't you give me Mitch?
Okay. My last pick. I'm between 2. And I kind of want to get funny with it.
Get funny with it.
Okay, I'm going to get funny with it. I'm going to go with Bianca.
Bianca. I was hoping you'd pick a player from a previous season or something.
That would be funny. I just
Rachel from last season.
I eat the 0, assuming my other 3 will carry me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
just sent him in the chat.
the ones we did not pick, no Charity or Chrissy or David. I
Nope.
think that's fine, right? Ava, I was really considering, but I just have this bad feeling about her.
You just have this 50-50 shot between Star and Ava.
Exactly, and I
And
don't
that
want to
wasn't
pick
worth-
that.
Yeah, it wasn't worth the risk.
We didn't pick Mary, which I don't know. I thought about it, but she hasn't given me enough to think it's going to be like relevant much longer. And then of course Star, the other part of the 50-50. So,
And Cedric.
oh, that's right, we didn't pick Cedric. Okay, so as long as Star,
So that's one of the
Cedric,
winners.
Mary, Ava, Dave. Well, there's a lot there. I don't know why I thought it was fewer. Okay. So to recap the list, I got Thomas, Say, Kyle, and Bianca. You got Camilla, Shaheen, Joe, and Mitch. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I felt okay going into it, but then now looking at these lists, I'm like, I have absolutely no idea. It doesn't feel like it feels like previous seasons have been much more easier to pin. Like, okay, these are the personalities that are gonna last on the season, and this just doesn't. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, because all of them feel like all of them feel like they're a shooting star where they're gonna like shine bright but shimmer quick. Genuinely, all of them give me that vibe.
Which is kind of why I went with Bianca, because I'm like, let me just do something different here and see what happens.
She'll
I
just
don't know.
survive it all.
Maybe like, let's see in 5 episodes, maybe all of a sudden we're seeing like she had a winner at it the whole time. I don't know. I don't know anymore with this new era, but that's where I'm at. All right,
Great place to be.
let's wrap this up. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up like a package.
For more episodes, visit notgameonpersonal.com. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok at NGAPPod. That's at NGAPPod. I'm Nathan. This is Tony. We'll see you next week.
15 seasons, 2 pals, 1 podcast.